Hello everyone and welcome back to a Elite Theme Pot Thrills YouTube video where today I'm going to carry on with my Hyperia recreation in episode 2. And yeah, I'm going to get straight into it, and this is definitely the worst thing I've ever created on this game. Yeah, so this is the start of the custom support on Hyperia, and this took ages. In fact, it took 3 hours to do all of the custom supports. I think the entire project altogether took about 10 hours, and 3 of them spent on just doing these supports. What I ended up doing was taking loads of different reference photos from the plans, from actual Hyperia, from the actual coaster, and just trying to just base it off that. And like I said in the last episode, this is not 100% accurate. Some of the supports, I did miss a couple of supports because I didn't think they were actually necessary for the recreation, and because I don't want to kill the game, because I think in the end there's about 500 pieces of just supports, and they're all just made up of these coaster supports all the way through the ride. And yes, I'm starting on the lifter at the tallest point of the ride, 236 foot in the air, and yeah, I thought this is going alright. When you get to the crema roll and the non-inverted Immelman and the dive stall, that's where it got very complicated, and I honestly wanted to give up, but I thought no, let's carry on, let's finish the custom supports, and you will see later on some errors, but it's not too big of a deal. Clearance was a huge issue in this recreation as well, because the supports were just too small or too big for these sections, and it was really annoying. I missed a few supports on the dive stall. Like when it enters into the dive stall, it connects to the lift hill supports, and it was just way too fiddly, so I just missed them, but it is still supported in some places. Yeah, so actually, fun fact, I tried to recreate Hyperia on the original Planet Coaster about a year ago, and I did the track layout, and I got to the supports, and I gave up. I did the lift hill, the final brake run, and the first turn, and yeah, it was just way too complicated. So yeah, I thought let's try again. So there are the start of the lift hill supports, and I was getting already annoyed and bored, so let's move on to the start of the ride, the first turn. But yeah, I think the main accomplishment is me getting 3 hours worth of footage down to 20 minutes. In the last Planet Coaster series, a lot of the episodes were over like 20 minutes long, so I was trying my best to get videos like under 10 minutes. So I've done well. I think this episode and another episode are only like over 10 minutes, but literally I just could not get it down. I think this is like 10 times sped up, mainly because you don't want to sit through like an hour and a half worth of footage for me just placing supports. It gets very repetitive. But yeah, here we are doing the final brake run. Yeah, this is the easy part. I think this took me about like 3 days to finish. I did it in 3 hours, but it was over a 3-day period. So yeah, I'm happy how the supports came out, because yeah, like on a distance, you'll be able to see that's Hyperia. When you get close up, when you're actually on ride, you do still see a little bit of the tweaks. What I probably could have done, but I didn't. Also, just wanted to point out, I just put the supports in. I didn't do any connectors or concrete footers, because one, that would have taken even longer, and I was really frustrated at this point, and two, I don't want the piece counter to get way too high. I think in the end it's like 3,000 pieces or 4,000 pieces altogether in the entire recreation. And obviously when I put this on the workshop, I don't want it crashing on people, so yeah, we can cut little bits out. Yeah, so this point is where I start the Stengel dive, I think, after the trim brake, after the stall dive. So yeah, I'm just fixing the lift or supports, making sure they connect, because I realised way too far from the lift hill, so just adding them in, moving some bits, changing bits. You know, the advanced tools in this game have been a lifesaver on the supports. Angle snaps as well, it just took way too long. This is attempt 1 out of about 10, I think, on this dive stall support structure, because my dive stall is like way too far from the lift hill. In real life, that stall is a lot closer to the lift hill, but on this game, it was way too far. So I think I did like 10 attempts on that and I ended up just giving up at some points. Another challenge I found out was obviously Hyperia is 2 different colours. So the supports are different colours when you get to certain points in height. So that was annoying to do. I was changing the colours on the supports every like 10 minutes. So yeah. And max supports are just terrible. Like you look at any other coaster, look at like B&M, their supports are pretty simple. Hyperia, Icon, I think Voltron at Europa Park has supports that are just ridiculous and annoying to recreate on Planet Coaster. But I think in the end it does look alright, and obviously from a distance you won't see any of the little errors in the support structure. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this came out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. We are going to be starting the theming process. We're going to be doing the station building, and then obviously the episodes to come, we will be doing some more of the theming. So it did cut, and now we're doing the non-inverting Immelman. You're thinking, why have you changed the terrain colour from the grass to that dirt? This was just so I could get the supports in line, because I think this is attempt 3 of doing the supports. I originally started from the top of that non-inverted Immelman. I thought I'll work my way down. That didn't work, so I did the bottom first. So I built that sort of big rectangle square structure, which is just a complete mess to follow. And yeah, and then we built up sort of like triangle section to the top, and it was so annoying to do. It was awful. I also did all of the different supports what sort of sit on the track. You'll see more of that when we go down to the Crema roll. Yeah, this took ages. 3 hours to complete altogether. It took like 3 days to do it, all the supports, and I don't want to custom support another coaster ever again. Bear in mind, this is my first proper coaster on Planet Coaster 2 where I have custom supported it. I did custom support a lot of coasters in Planet Coaster 1, but not in Planet Coaster 2, so this is annoying to do. And as you can see, I gave up with the Immelman and I go back to the lift hill, because that's what I do in this game. I just can't focus on one section of a ride at a time. I think at this point, I just want to get this done now. I've been working on it for so long. And yeah, we're nearly there. Just do the Immelman, and then I've got the Crema roll to do. And I didn't think the Crema roll was actually that bad to do, but because obviously that's next to the trees at the back, you couldn't actually get good angles of the photos. I watched like Jack Silkstone's construction videos of Hyperia about 20 times whilst doing this, so thank God he had permission to go onto the site, because I don't think I would have been able to recreate it without his videos. The original plans, and it's like grey and white, that colour scheme on Hyperia, had to use that quite a lot. Yeah, it was definitely one of the worst things I've ever done. And yeah, I think this Immelman changes quite a bit actually, because the way the supports go, it clipped through the track. So I had to completely redo the Immelman, and that smoothed it out, and the smoothing wasn't right. So yeah, even the track pieces were annoying me in this, and then just connecting that, there we go. See, I thought I'd just smooth it and change it, but I think in the end I had to just completely delete it and redo that, because it was clipping through the supports way too much. Not like a little, you won't notice it, you could clearly notice it when you're on that section of the ride. And yeah, this is like one of the only photos from the angle where you're in the queue line, just before the lift hill. When you look up, that was sort of the only photo I could find of this support structure, so I couldn't see like the back of it or the side of it or anything, and it just made it 10 times harder because it was just annoying. And also, like I said, I was looking at the original plans and it didn't have the colours of it, so I sort of had to guess what colours where it was. And there is the Immelman going in. I thought it looked good at this point, and then I realised, you'll see on the POV at the top, it sort of like it doesn't smoothly transition. It really shoots up, so I had to smooth that down whilst keeping the speed well and not messing the supports up too much, because obviously it's not the support in the game, like the custom supporter, so I had to move it around a little bit just so it would actually sit on the track. But yeah, I think in total this structure I'm doing now took about an hour, yeah, roughly that sort of amount of time. So almost half the time was just spent on this one support structure, which is unbelievable to think about since the whole thing took 3 hours. But yeah, we're nearly there, nearly at the end of this support section. Loads of cross beams in this. It was just so annoying to do. I was honestly gonna give up, but I thought, no, I'm nearly done it. Now just got the crown roll to do, and then yeah, we will be finished with the supports, and I'll never have to do them ever again. I also did notice on the actual ride, this support structure is more of like a square base, and that one's more of a rectangle. And I realised once I'd finished it, and I was like, I'm not doing this again, so it's gonna have to be a rectangle and not a square, which is, I don't really care that much, to be honest. And we're just building that structure, that rectangle structure, to the Immelman, and just make sure it all connects, ready for it to be finished, and we can move on to the crema roll. And yeah, the crema roll wasn't that accurate. It's in real life, that crema roll, if you look at on the side, it's fully straight. The second half of it, where you go into that inversion, it was sort of slanted and pushed back a little bit. And obviously the supports would have been completely messed up if I left it like that, so you will see in a minute I do change that part of the ride, and yeah, it's more accurate as well. But yeah, there's still more supports going in for this, for the non-inverted Immelman, and I think in the end it does look quite good off-ride and on-ride, because obviously you are going the fastest point in the ride, 81 miles per hour, and you do fly right past that, and it does look really, really good. Not just in the game, also in real life. I love that part of the ride after Hyperia. And yeah, then I realised the stall is connected in the back with the support, so I had to do that, and that goes all the way down to where the splashdown starts. And yeah, just making sure the colours are all accurate to that as well. And yeah, this video is the longest in the series, 20 minutes long. So sorry that it had to be this long, but I'm so proud of myself for getting the video down from 3 hours to 20 minutes. You can't really complain at me for that. But yeah, I'll see Hyperia. I am really excited to get back at it this year. I haven't ridden it yet this year. I'm so excited to get down to Thorpe Park. Obviously, get on my favourite coasters in the UK, like Hyperia, Stealth, Swarm. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to my trip well, whenever I go. But yeah, obviously now we're going to move on to where you drop down from the Immelman, and then where the photo is taken into the creme roll. This is supported on the bottom all the way down to pretty much the bottom of that drop. Yeah, so I had to custom support that all the way down, and it was annoying because I had to get the angles correct and everything. It was really annoying to do. And then the bottom of the Immelman, just before the camera roll, that was pretty easy. The supports were quite flat, like a single support, so that was kind of easy. And then I realised there's terrain issues. It sort of goes through the floor, and I think, yeah, I tried to make the terrain dip a little bit, but then it just didn't look accurate. And then I tried to move the track up, and then it sort of had this weird like banking situation, so I just left it like that. It's not a massive deal. I mean, it cuts through the floor for about a second, maybe 2 at the max. You won't notice it because you are going through that part of the ride pretty quick on this recreation. But yeah, just making sure the implement supports are all connected and making sure they're actually fit. Yeah, this one support here connects about 4 other supports on this drop. I don't know how they manage that, because that must have a lot of stress on that one footer in real life. But you know, it's worked fine for the past 2 years almost. Hyperia's been open for, so yeah, honestly, engineers know what they're doing when it comes to these huge coasters. And yeah, now we are about to, I mean, look at that first, that little screenshot there, that looks really good. I'm really happy with how that turned out. And we're almost going to start with the creme roll. This is pretty easy to do actually. The creme roll is only supported by them 2 structures, and they're pretty solid to do. It's like they're very easy to do. They're pretty just straight lines on angles all the way down. So this was pretty easy to do. It only took me about half an hour to do this, which was pretty good. And yeah, so obviously I started with the 2 at the back because they're the most difficult ones to do, and the rest was just small supports connecting the bottom of the camera to the dive stool. And them 2 elements back to back on Hyperia is insane, because once you flip back to 90 degrees, well 0 degrees after the creme roll, you then flip for 5 seconds on the stall, and I just love looking over to Stout while I'm upside down. It's one of my favourite views and favourite elements in the entire of the UK. I absolutely love that element so much. But yeah, I'll see, there's about 6 episodes in this series. This is episode 2. Next episode I'm going to do the station, and then we've got the queue line, plaza, surrounding areas, finishing touches I think. And yeah, then obviously we'll go out to the workshop, POV and cinematics will go out as well. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned for that. I've also done 2 episodes a week for this recreation, so I think it's only about 4 weeks in total. Videos will be going out. Obviously, my first series, that was episodes every single week, so 1 episode a week, and it took like 8 weeks to finish. So I thought, let's shorten that down, try and do 2 episodes a week, because obviously it's the main season now, so you know I want to do other videos at parks. I've got more videos planned for the future, which is very, very, very exciting. And yeah, we're coming to the end of this time lapse, and once I edit this video, I will never have to think about these supports ever again, because they haunt my nightmares. Yeah, it was definitely one of the worst experiences of my life, and I will not be custom supporting the coaster for a very long time, because it was awful and it took way too much time. I don't know how people have the time to do custom supports on every single coaster. They do, so that's kind of fun. And I also just remembered, I managed to fix the time lapse and the actual screen recording on my PlayStation 5. Before, it would only allow me to upload 15-minute long videos, so that's why the videos were pretty short in the last series. But now I fixed it, so now I can upload videos as long as I want. So I've got a few more video ideas planned for Planet Coaster 2, and that is giving me more of a reason to do a full park series. So I will be thinking about doing that in the near future. So if you would like to see a full park series on this channel, make sure you comment down below, because I will think about doing that, and that will definitely be in the closed season. I think this is the last Planet Coaster 2 video for a while in the main season, because obviously, like I've been saying, this series and last series, I want to get out to the parks. I want to do vlogs, off-road footages, challenges, stuff like that. Yes, this will probably be my last Planet Coaster 2 series for a while, but I have really enjoyed this, and I hope you have enjoyed it too. And yeah, this is the end of the supports and end of episode 2, so stay tuned for the next episode. Episode 3 will be doing the station, building, and the interior. But if you have enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at LukeThemeBotThrills. I've been Luke, goodbye.